12 strikes, sharp, resonant, and chillingly precise. For 2 weeks, every night, the sound had jolted him awake. Heart pounding, he would lie in the darkness, listening intently. Silence, no footsteps, no whispers. Just the fading echo of the knocker against wood. Each night, the same routine. He'd leap from his bed, adrenaline coursing through him. He'd fling open the door, expecting to confront a prankster or a late-night visitor, but there was never anyone there. Only the empty streetlight casting long, eerie shadows. The unsettling ritual began to gnaw at his sanity. Sleep became a distant memory, replaced by a constant creeping dread. He knew he had to do something to regain control, to understand the source of this nightly torment. The answer, he decided, lay in technology. The days stretched on, each one heavier than the last, laden with the anticipation of the coming night. He found himself constantly looking over his shoulder, even in the bright light of day. The world seemed to hold its breath, waiting with him for the midnight chime. Driven by fear and a sliver of hope, he installed a security camera above his front door. Surely the camera would capture the culprit, provide some much-needed evidence, some semblance of reason to explain the inexplicable. He spent the rest of the day checking and rechecking the camera angles, seeking solace in its cold, unblinking gaze. As dusk settled, his anxiety intensified. He found himself pacing the living room, his gaze flicking nervously between the clock and the monitor displaying the camera feed. The minutes ticked by with agonizing slowness. Finally, the clock struck 12. The knocking commenced. His heart hammered in his chest. He held his breath, his eyes glued to the monitor. But just as the knocking started, the screen flickered and went black. Static buzzed from the speaker. A wave of icy fear washed over him. He was alone, cut off from even the meager comfort of technology. Tonight, he would confront his fear head-on. He wouldn't wait behind the safety of his locked door. He grabbed a heavy flashlight, his hand trembling, and slipped outside, concealing himself in the bushes beside his porch. His plan was simple: to lie in wait to see who or what lurked in the darkness. The night air was thick with the scent of damp earth and something else, something indefinable and unsettling. Time crawled by. He felt a growing unease, a prickling sensation on the back of his neck, as if he were being watched. He tried to shake it off, but the feeling only intensified, and then he felt it, a presence. Section 4, burning eyes, silent scream. It wasn't a sound or a sight, but a shift in the very air around him, a coldness that seeped into his bones. He slowly turned his head, his breath catching in his throat. His flashlight beam danced in the darkness, catching a fleeting glimpse of something. He couldn't quite make it out. But 2 points of light, like burning embers, pierced through the gloom. In that instant, a searing pain ripped through his eyes. He cried out, a silent scream